Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the past was absolutely insane, and I made this video today to cover one of the oddest battles that took place in World War One. But bum. Flashback to the year 1915 at the Azov Fortress in northeast Poland, which is about right here. This was between the German Empire and the Russian Empire, who both had some sort of liking to birds. Now, before I begin the video, the stick man with a monocle and epic mustache are the Germans, and these people are the Russians. Got it? Perfect. Now, to give a bit of context, the Germans were trying to capture this fortress, which was held by the Russians as it provided a strategic advantage. Now, this was in no way a fair fight. The Germans, led by Field Marshal Paul von Hindenburg, had 7,000 to 8,000 infantrymen, as well as 30 batteries of artillery and chlorine gas, which we'll get into later. Compared to the poor Russians, which had about 900 troops led by Lieutenant Vladimir Karpovich-Kolnitzky. The Germans were trying to play this smart. The tactic was that they didn't even need to sacrifice soldiers if they could just bombard the fortress to the Stone Age. This was relatively ineffective. The Russians sustained minimal losses and were still willing to fight tooth and nail. That did pretty much nothing. And I don't want to just rush in there because that would be way too humane. I know, let's fire harmful chlorine gas canisters at them. Chlorine, isn't that stuff in the pool? I swim in that stuff all the time, and I'm completely fine. Well, kind viewer, this isn't the stuff that's in the pool. Well, it is, but way more concentrated. This stuff smelled like a mixture of pineapples and peppers. It would cause the grass to turn black and leaves to yellow. Even after the incident, dead birds, frogs, insects, and other animals lie lifelessly everywhere. So yeah, chlorine gas does not play. And the Russians either had no gas mask or crudely made ones, so they were in for quite a surprise. Oh look, another barrage. We're fine. Probably just more artillery. Well, isn't that weird? Gas is leaking out of the shells. It kind of smells like a Hawaiian pizza restaurant, too. Oh yeah, forgot to mention. Chlorine gas also eats away at flesh, so when this stuff is breathed in, their lungs begin to dissolve, which makes a normal lung look like this, which is about as devastating as smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day for about 400 years, so kind of a problem. Many poor comrades had to resort to soaking their undershirts in water, which, not the most effective, but I mean, better than nothing. Sir, the Germans are marching towards our position, and our men's lungs are literally being eaten. What do we do? Now, this Kotlinski guy, who I mentioned earlier, as the highest-ranking official, had to decide what to do. There's no evidence, but I personally think this guy was pretty dang intoxicated by what he says next. Let's just run at the Germans, who outnumber us by about a 1-to-8 ratio. Are you serious? That is a literal death sentence. We've got this, believe me. Now, this should have been their ruin. But they had one ally on their side. Fear. Oh my Kaiser Wilhelm. What are those? They kind of look like zombies. Keep in mind, the Russians were hacking up not only their own blood, but also pieces of their own lungs, and this is about enough to make anyone want to run away, including every single German infantryman. The Russians decided to seize this moment and gun down every single German they possibly could. Also, the Germans must have been so frightened that they ran over their own traps, causing even more casualties. The Russians won this battle through gunning down and driving away every single German soldier they could, while the Germans that could run away did. Not long after, the Germans surrounded the fortress and eventually captured it. However, good effort nonetheless.